What if I told you that Sauron, the Dark Lord, the Eye of Mordor, Middle-earth's ultimate villain, actually started out as one of the good guys? Yeah. The same being who tried to enslave all of Middle-earth was once a craftsman who wanted to make the world more orderly. Welcome back to Stickmen of Middle-earth. Today we're diving into the complete history of Sauron. By the end of this video, you'll understand how a noble spirit became the greatest threat Middle-earth ever faced, and why he lost everything to a couple of hobbits. Let's get into it. The beginning, before he was evil. Sauron wasn't always called Sauron. His original name was Mairon, which literally means the Admirable One. Before time as we know it, Mairon was a Maia, a kind of angelic being, and he served under Ola, the Vala of crafts and smithing. He wasn't just talented, he was obsessed with order, perfection, and making things run efficiently. And honestly, that's where the problems began. Mairon dreamed of a perfectly structured world without chaos or unpredictability. He thought he was doing good, but his version of good left no room for freedom. Then came Morgoth, the original Dark Lord, powerful, persuasive, and manipulative. Morgoth saw Mairon's desire for order and whispered the exact words he wanted to hear. "Join me. Together we can reshape the world. We can bring order through power." Mairon believed him. This is when Mairon became Sauron, the abhorred one. But in his own mind, he was still the hero of his story. He'd simply chosen a more efficient path to his perfect world, a path that required absolute control.
You are wrong. I am the creator. I am the master.
The First Age, Morgoth's lieutenant. For thousands of years in the First Age, Sauron served as Morgoth's lieutenant, and he was terrifying. While Morgoth brooded in his fortress, Sauron was out conquering, commanding armies, and breaking wills. He corrupted entire lands and turned Tol and Gaurhoth into a werewolf-infested nightmare known as the Isle of Werewolves. One of his darkest acts was defeating the Elven king, Finrod Felagund, in a battle of songs, a literal musical fight to the death. But everything changed when the Valar finally intervened and waged a world-shattering war against Morgoth. Mountains fell, seas rose, and Morgoth was finally cast into the void. Sauron panicked. He surrendered, begged for mercy, and claimed he was deeply sorry. The Valar told him to come back to Valinor for judgment. Sauron refused. He fled, because he wasn't sorry at all.
You chose it. Not I. What? All depends on the rings.
The Second Age, Rise to Power. After hiding for centuries, Sauron reinvented himself. Instead of ruling by fear, he would rule by deception. He appeared to the elves in a fair form, calling himself Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. He acted humble, wise, helpful, and for 1,500 years, he worked with the elven smiths, teaching them secrets of craftsmanship. Together, they forged the rings of power, 9 for men, 7 for dwarves, 3 for elves. But secretly, Sauron forged the One Ring in Mount Doom, pouring a huge portion of his own power into it, a master ring to control all others. The moment he put it on, the elves knew they'd been betrayed. The dwarves resisted domination, but the 9 men, they fell completely, and became the Nazgul. With the ring, Sauron declared himself the Dark Lord of Mordor and waged war across Middle-earth. But then, something wild happened. The Númenorian king Ar-Pharazôn marched on Mordor, defeated Sauron's armies, and took Sauron captive. Except Sauron let it happen. Within years, he manipulated his way into becoming the king's most trusted advisor. He led Númenor into worshipping darkness and convinced them they could conquer the land of the gods themselves. When they tried, the world literally changed shape. Númenor was drowned, millions died, and Sauron's physical form was destroyed. His spirit survived, but he could never again appear fair or beautiful. Back in Mordor, he rebuilt his strength, only to face the greatest alliance ever formed, elves and men united. The last alliance besieged Mordor for 7 years. In the final battle, Elendil and Gil-galad confronted Sauron. All three died, but Isildur cut the ring from Sauron's hand, shattering his body once again. Isildur could have ended everything by destroying the ring, but he didn't, and the ring betrayed him and vanished for millennia. The Third Age, the shadow returns. Because the ring still existed, Sauron couldn't truly die. For over 1,000 years, he drifted as a formless spirit, slowly regathering power. He eventually settled in Mirkwood, calling himself the Necromancer. It wasn't until Gandalf investigated that the truth was revealed. Sauron had returned. Driven out by the White Council, he retreated to Mordor, rebuilt Barad-dûr, and began searching desperately for the One Ring. Without the ring, he was powerful but vulnerable. With it, he would be unstoppable. He sent the Nazgûl hunting. He tortured Gollum. He moved armies like chess pieces. And he almost won. But he made one fatal mistake. He assumed no one would ever choose to destroy the ring. So when two hobbits walked into Mordor with that exact mission, he didn't even consider it. When the ring fell into Mount Doom, Sauron's power collapsed. His armies scattered. His spirit was shattered and reduced to nothing but a shadow, never again able to take form.
It's gone.
What makes Sauron such an incredible villain isn't just his power or his cruelty. It's that he represents something deeply human, the belief that the ends justify the means. He truly thought he was making Middle-earth better. That order and control were worth any cost. The One Ring is the ultimate symbol of how power corrupts, whispering to every bearer that with just a little more power, they could fix everything. But Middle-earth wasn't saved by warriors or kings. It was saved by hobbits, by those who didn't seek power at all. Sauron's story is a warning. Beware of those who promise safety at the cost of freedom. Beware of those who demand control for the greater good, because that's how Mairon the Admirable became Sauron the Deceiver. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Dark Lord's history, don't forget to like and subscribe to Stickmen of Middle-earth, and tell me in the comments, do you think Sauron could ever have been redeemed, or was he too far gone?